name's Steph, and this video is to tell you all about the movement around 3D printing medical face shields from an Australian perspective. Hobbyists around the world have been chipping in and making these, which is such a fantastic show of what we can do with just our standard desktop 3D printers. But what can we do in Australia? Let's just jump in and find out. The idea behind 3D printing face shields like this one here is that they're a frontline protection for our healthcare workers. What you do is you 3D print out the band. You can either laser cut or hole punch the face shield here, and when it's worn, it's a full-on splash protection for people who are having direct patient-to-patient contact. So, if anyone tries to sneeze or to cough on someone that's wearing one of these, you're going to be very well protected. Nothing's getting through in the eyes or the mouth. You might also be wondering whether you can 3D print out face masks or respirators, the ones that just cover your nose and your mouth at the same time. Now, while these ones are good to protect yourself from other people, face masks are good to protect other people from yourself. And so 3D printed versions of those are really good for personal use, not very good to donate to healthcare workers. They can also, especially if made out of rigid materials, not make a very good face seal because everyone's face is different and the design is very standardized. What you're better off doing is getting out the old sewing machine and having a go at making a cloth version for yourself to wear out in public if you need to. Something like this one here that my mum made for me. Thanks, Mum. So, the demand for these face shields has been pretty far-reaching. In Brisbane, in Metro North, they put a call out to get 3,000 of these 3D printed face bands printed in 3 weeks, and they ended up making that goal within 5 days, which is such a fantastic response by the local hobbyist community. At the moment, there's also a whole range of different CAD files and models to make different variations of this standard face shield model. The two that are taking the stage right now in the most predominantly popularly used designs though are the R3 Prusa model and the 3D Werkstatt model. On one hand, the Prusa R3 design is sturdy, keeps the faceplate nice and flush, and is a strong, durable choice, but it can take around 1.5 hours to print and requires extra materials like a stretchy band at the back to keep things all together. On the other hand, you have the Swedish 3D Werkstatt design, and this one is a lot thinner, making it quicker to print, around 20 minutes. It's also compatible with a standard A4 PVC sheet that can just be made to fit with a standard hole punch. However, it is flimsier and weaker than the Prusa design. In Australia, we have an overarching body that monitors anything that's put into our local healthcare system, called the Therapeutic Goods Administration, or the TGA. In response to the pandemic, the TGA has issued a legal exemption article which covers facial type PPE made during the pandemic for public hospital use. In Brisbane, a company called 3D1 has made their own variation of the face shield design, which they have successfully registered with TGA. Generally a very costly and lengthy process, and they were able to fast track and streamline this because they've already got products that were made for cancer treatments registered through TGA. You might be wondering whether you should be charging a cost to make these for your local healthcare systems. And the answer is it's a bit of a personal choice. Generally, if you're a business though, you've got to make sure that you cover your own supplies at least for something like this. If we end up getting orders in the thousands and thousands to make these, you can't run yourself into the ground just to provide for our local healthcare. We've got to make sure that we can provide these sustainably, which is super important. So, the situation's moving pretty fast. And generally, to make a product like this, you would use mass manufacturing technologies such as injection molding, which can make thousands of units in a day. However, the government is tendering for this process, but it's going to take a lot of time. Businesses that do injection molding need to spend time to retool and get ready to make something like this. But when they do, they'll be able to make a product that is cheaper, more durable, and more reliable than 3D printed hobbyist type manufactured goods. In the meantime though, while we wait for them to gear up and get ready to respond, hobbyists like us with our desktop printers at home can step in and fill that need at a more agile point, which is super exciting. So, How can you get involved in Australia? If you're in a city area, the best way is to just go online and monitor the situation and search to see if any of your local healthcare providers have put a call out and a request for face shields. If you're in a more regional area, you might want to band together with other local makers if you can't find a group and respond locally to fill that need. If you're a hobbyist or a healthcare provider that wants to receive face shields and you don't have any groups nearby, you can also join up with the Open Manufacturing Alliance Australia, which is an Australia-wide group that has come together to respond to this need. So, if you sign up on their website, oma-oz.com, you can go and get paired up with people in your local area that need shields. You can put down your capacity, and they've been responding all over the country and providing thousands of face shields and shipping it to places where they need to go. They also provide a streamlined invoicing system so that when the hospital is paying for a part like this that might require parts from people who 3D print, people who laser cut, all that kind of stuff, it really makes it easy for them to go and process those payments. The 3D printing technology especially shines through in this time of need. We can step up and provide those goods when they're needed right now without having to rely on traditional manufacturing methods. It's super exciting. With the popularity of 3D printing at the desktop level, I think we're all realizing how powerful it is as a decentralized way to manufacture goods to respond to our local supply chain. If you'd like to see more of our content, we'll be putting out some more soon. But for now, I'm Steph Piper. Thanks for watching.